Hello, all Form 2 students. I'm Mr. Guan. Starting from today, we're going to conduct online lesson through videos. So if you have the book with you, please take it out now. You'll need it. If you do not, don't worry. I have the ebook with me, so you can look at your book through the screen. So now please turn to page 12 if you have the book with you. If you do not, it's fine. Just look at the screen now. Okay, so today we are going to learn how to use participle clauses in your writing. To talk about what? To talk about why and when things happen. Okay, so before we begin, let's watch a video about participle clause first. The video will now begin.
This musical instrument is a trumpet. Trumpets are made of brass. They're among the oldest instruments in the world. They date back nearly 4,000 years. In spoken English, we use short sentences like these. But in written English, sentences are often longer. These 3 sentences about trumpets can go into one longer sentence with 3 clauses. Here's the written sentence. Made of brass, trumpets are among the oldest instruments in the world, dating back nearly 4,000 years. Here's the main clause. Trumpets are among the oldest instruments in the world. The subject is trumpets. Long sentences can be hard to understand. Always look for the main clause first, then look for the other clauses. Made of brass is a participle clause, giving extra information about trumpets. In writing, non-defining participle clauses often go before the subject. Dating back nearly 4,000 years is a participle clause too. It also gives extra information about trumpets. The past participle, made, in this example, is used for passive meanings. The present participle, or ing form, is used for active meanings. Participle clauses can show a reason why something happens. Being loud instruments, trumpets are often used in orchestras. The clause explains one reason why trumpets are used in orchestras. Participle clauses can also show a result of something. Miles Davis was a great trumpet player, influencing many other players. They can show a condition, like an if clause. Played well, trumpet music is beautiful. And they can show a situation. Standing in front of the audience, he played brilliantly.
Okay, so this is the end of the video. So now let's look at the book here. So after watching the video, so I have one question for you. Why are we using participle clauses in our writing? So will we use participle clauses in spoken English or written English? So if you paid attention to the video, you should have an answer. So we use participle clauses in written English more, but not spoken English. Okay, so this is why we are teaching you to use participle clauses, because in this chapter, Unit 5, you are going to write a story. Write a story, and you may need to use participle clauses in your writing. Okay, so there are two types of participle clauses. The first type is here, present participle clauses. And the second type is here, past participle clauses. So you may have one question on your mind. So does it mean that when I use present tense, I always use present participle clauses? So when I use past tense in my writing, so should I use past participle clauses? Any answers? And let me tell you the answer. The answer is no. So let's look at here. So first of all, before we understand what present participle clauses are, we should know what is a present participle. Okay, so a present participle is what? It is the ing form of a verb. For example, we have hearing, we have seeing. These are what we call present participles. When you use simple present continuous tense, okay, is verb plus ing, or am verb plus ing, or are verb plus ing. Actually, that verb plus ing is a present participle. Okay, so a present participle clause begins with that verb plus ing that we call it present participle. And we use it, so when do we use it? We use it to replace a subject and an active verb, okay? In simple present tense, simple past tense, present continuous tense, and also past continuous tense. So in other words, when we use present participle clauses, the tense could be in past tense. We can use simple past and also past continuous tense in present participle clauses. Okay, so you may wonder, okay, when or how do we use present participle clauses in our writing? In fact, there are three different types, okay, three different types or three different purposes to use present participles clauses. So this is the first purpose. Okay, look at this sentence. So let me enlarge it. Okay. Let's look at the original version first. This is the original version. Mandy held onto the boat tightly because she felt scared. Okay. This sentence is grammatical, but we can always use another way to express the same meaning. We can use present participle clauses to help us, just like here. Look at here. Feeling scared, comma. Mandy held onto the boat tightly. So this phrase, highlighted in red, is what we call present participle clause. So how do we form it? So remember, just to remember the definition here, we use it to replace a subject and an active verb. So in the old sentence here, she felt scared. Which word is the subject? This one, or this one? Do you still remember what is a subject? The difference between a subject and an object? She here is the subject of the sentence, and felt is the verb. So when we change this part of the sentence to a present participle clause, we have to delete she and change this verb. This is an active verb in past tense to a present participle, like this one. Feeling, verb plus ing. So this is how we form a present participle clause. Okay? Feeling scared, the reason comes first. Remember, when we describe cause and effect relationship using participle clauses, remember, the reason comes first, and then the result. Feeling scared, comma, Mandy held onto the boat tightly. Now, let's look at another example. Example 2. Henry does not believe in ghosts, so he visited the haunted house. Look at so here. So if you are smart enough, so you know that. So we are talking about another cause and effect relationship. So remember we learned it in Form 1 or in the first term of Secondary 2. It is used to introduce the result. Okay, the result. So this part, Henry does not believe in ghosts, is the reason. This is the result. We have to change this part to a present participle clause. So how do we do it? How do we do it? Remember, the subject, do we still need the subject? No, we don't need the subject. How about here, believe? This is the active verb. Do we still need it? We have to change it to present participle, verb plus ing. So we have believing here. So why do we have not here? So remember, here we have does not. Not is the negator. Remember, we have to keep the not. If you don't keep the not here, you change the meaning of the clause. So therefore, we put not first, and then verb plus ing, believing, and then the rest of the sentence, believing in ghosts, comma, Henry visited the haunted house. Okay, so this is how we change this sentence to this sentence. Cause and effect relationship is the first purpose of using participle clause. So what is the second purpose? Look at here. The third example here. While, or we can use when. While the visitors were staring at something in the lake, comma, they took photos of it. We do not see a cause and effect relationship here. What do you see? What's the relationship between this part of the sentence and this part of the sentence? Do you still remember when do we use while or when, W-H-E-N? Remember, if we are talking about two actions happening at the same time, we use when or while. We can also use participle clause to describe two actions happening at the same time. So how do we use it? Just like what we did in the two examples above, we change one of the action, maybe the first action. We have two actions happening together simultaneously, right? We change it to a participle clause, just like what we did. The visitors here, this is the subject. We don't need it. And this is verb plus ing, right? So we keep it. We have not here? No. Look at here. This is the answer. Staring at something in the lake, comma, the visitors took photos of it. You understand how we change this to this? If you have any questions, let me tell you how to solve it. So this is the advantage of using video to learn. You can always stop the video, pause it, and then watch it again from the very beginning of this video. If you think I'm talking too fast, there is a button in YouTube. You can always listen to me in a slower pace. Let's move on. This is the second purpose. When we describe two actions happening simultaneously, happening at the same time. Remember, I told you there are three purposes when we use participle clauses. So let's look at the last purpose. Here, this is the original sentence. After the children heard a strange noise, they ran away. So what's the relationship between these two clauses? Cause and effect relationship? Or are these two things happening at the same time? No. Can you see the word after here? After, it means that there is a sequence. There is one action happening after another action. So this is the last purpose. We can use participle clause to describe one action happening after another action. Look at here. After the children heard a strange noise. This is the first action. Oh, the children heard strange noise. So what they did after that, they ran away. They ran away. So this is the second action. We change. How do we change? How do we form a participle clause? We change the first action here using the method that we are using in the three examples above. The children, the subject. Do we still need to keep the subject in a participle clause? No. The active verb, heard. Still remember the past tense. It is the past tense of hear, H-E-A-R. So look at the participle clause here. Hearing, verb plus ing. Hearing, the same, a strange noise. A strange noise. The children ran away. Okay, you may have a question. Oh, Mr. Guan, the original sentence here is they ran away. Why don't we say they ran away, but the children ran away? Why? Why don't we keep the original clause here, just like what we did above? Any ideas? If you write they here, who are they? Tell me. If you are the reader of your story, who are they? You don't know. As a reader, you don't know who are they. So you have to tell your reader clearly, the children, not they. Okay? So I finished talking about present participle clauses. We will have some practice later, not now. At this moment, if you still do not understand what present participle clauses are, please watch it again from the very beginning. If you, okay, Mr. Guan, I understand. So what's next? I told you there are two types of participle clauses that we are going to learn today. The second type is past participle clauses. And I tell you, this is more difficult than the first one. You may wonder, oh, Mr. Guan, I remember you mentioned that we can use simple past and also past continuous tense in present participle clauses. So what about past participle clauses? What's the difference? Okay, so before answering this question, let me ask you another question. Do you know what a past participle is? Is this term familiar to you? Maybe, because if you have the book with you, do you still remember you have the irregular verb tables? Page A8, page A9. There are 3 columns for each verb. The first one is infinitive. And the second column is simple past. And the third column is past participle. Oh, so this is past participle. Oh, now I know that what past participles are. So a past participle clause, look at the book. A past participle clause begins with a past participle, So what is a past participle? It is the form of the main verb used in perfect tenses or the passive voice. Do you still remember how to form perfect tenses? You have, for present perfect, you have has or have plus what? Plus past participle, right? Or the passive voice. Still remember the requirement for passive voice. You have to have two things. What are they? Be, verb to be, plus PP. PP is the past participle. So heard and seen are two examples of past participles. Take seen as an example. This is very easy, right? You still remember the infinitive form? What is an infinitive? Page 8 again. The first column for seen. Here. See, saw, seen. We are using the third column here. Okay. So this is a past participle. So when do we use it or how do we use it? We use it to replace a subject plus a passive verb in the simple present or the simple past. If you have the highlighter with you, highlight this one. Sorry. Oops. This is very important. Passive. Passive. Remember when I talk about present participle clause, I said it is used to replace a subject and an active verb. So now we use it to replace a passive verb. Passive. Do you still remember what passive is? Look at these examples. And I tell you, similar or the same as present participle clauses, we can also use it for 3 different purposes, including the first one, cause and effect relationship. The second one, when we are describing 2 actions happening at the same time. And the last one, after. We are describing 1 action happening after another action. Now let's look at the examples here. The first one. The villagers moved away because, you can see because here, because is used to introduce the reason. Because they were frightened by reports of monsters. Here, were frightened by, were, verb to be, frightened, PP, past participle. So this is passive voice. So this is why we will not use present participle clause. We are using past participle clause here because in the old sentence, in the original sentence, we are using a passive verb. So how do we change it? So for the past participle clause, the first word is, of course, the past participle. So frightened, okay? Remember, you do not have to include the subject, just like how you form present participle clauses. The subject, you don't have to use it here. So this is why the first word of this clause here is frightened, the past participle. And then you keep the remaining part of the clause. Frightened by reports of monsters, comma. The villagers moved away. Remember, the same as here, we put reason first and then result next. Similarly, when we are describing two actions happening at the same time, just like here, look at this sentence. While I was trapped in the cemetery, I was very frightened. Can you see here? Was, verb to be, trapped, past participle. So this is passive voice again. So here, we change this part in blue to this one, this clause. We don't need the subject, which is I. We delete it. Trapped in the cemetery, comma. I was very frightened. Actually, the way of forming sentence with past participle clause is the same as what you did. Forming sentences with present participle clause. The same. Only the first word is different. You have to decide whether the verb is active or passive. If it is an active verb in the old sentence, use present participle clause. If it is a passive verb in the original sentence, past participle clauses. Okay, understand? Last one. Cause and effect, when the last one, of course, is after, describing two actions happening, okay, one after another. So here, let's look at the original one. After the UFO was shot down by the police, it burst into flames. After. UFO subject, delete it. Was shot down by, was verb to be shot. Okay, the past participle of shoot. So this is a passive voice, a passive verb as well. So this is why we are using past participle clause here. Shot down by the police, comma. The UFO burst into flames. Okay, so I finished introducing how to use present participle clause in your writing and also how to use past participle clauses in your writing. To make sure you understand what I'm talking about, let's do some exercises here. Okay, so now let me show you the exercise. Wait. Okay, so here, the first sentence. This is the original sentence. As he was running down the dark street, comma, Peter tripped and fell. Now, I give you some time. Please use a paper, get a pen, get a paper, write down your own sentence. try to change it to try to form a new sentence using participle clauses. Okay, 10 seconds. Okay, this is the answer. Running down the dark street, comma, Peter tripped and fell. Describing two actions at the same time, right? If you get the correct answer, congratulations. If you do not, don't panic or don't worry. Let's look at another. Here, Julie dialed 999 because she heard screaming in the next room. Now, another 10 seconds. Change it to a new sentence using participle clauses. Done. Okay, time is up. The answer here, hearing screaming in the next room, comma, Julie dialed 999. Reason for the action, cause and effect relationship. Next one, after he noticed a face in the mirror, Troy ran out of the room. 10 seconds. Okay, the answer is here. Noticing a face in the mirror, comma, Troy ran out of the room. An action that happens just before another action, because you can see the word after here. Okay, so all three sentences we just talked about are using what? Present participle clauses, because the verb in the original sentence is an active or a passive one, an active one. So this is why we are using present participle clauses. Okay, next one here. After she was startled by the noise, comma, Jill asked, "What was that?" 10 seconds. Dun, dun. The answer is startled by the noise, comma, Jill asked, "What was that?" Can you see after here? So take the last one, an action that happens just before another action. Next one, two more questions. Second last. Because he was distracted by his phone, comma, Jamie didn't see the UFO. 10 seconds. Okay. Here is the answer. Distracted by his phone, comma, Jamie didn't see the UFO. Because introducing a cause and effect relationship, so this is why we take the first one. A reason for the action in the main clause. Last question. When we were trapped in the cave, we tried to call for help. 10 seconds. Okay, the answer is trapped in the cave, comma, we tried to call for help. Full stop. Two actions happening at the same time. Okay? So I hope you have got all the answers correct. So if you need more practice or you need more practice, this is a must. Okay? Now, homework time. Finish page 13. Okay, page 13. So this is an exercise that you have to use formal sentences using present participle clause or past participle clause. For 2E students, the same. Finish the exercise here. This 2E's book. Okay. Finish the exercise here, page 13, about present participle clause and past participle clause. Okay. So I hope you enjoy watching this video. This is the first form-based video that we create. So the next video will still use the book. We'll still use the book. We are going to follow the flow of the book. So where can you find the video? You can find it on YouTube, or you can go to eClass. Remember, after watching each video, in order to take your attendance, you have to do these things. First, like the video. Second, give it a comment. You should at least tell us your name, your class, and also your class number, so that we know that you have watched the video. And last, if you want to subscribe to the channel, it's fine. I don't mind. You can also click the bell for receiving notifications when I have new videos. Okay, so this is the end of the video. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.